Hello and welcome back to Nunchaku, where today I'll be teaching you a few very basic beginner redirects. Redirects are pretty much the fundamentals of nunchucks because they are necessary in order to transition between different moves and different sequences that you may be performing. So the first redirect that I'll be showing you today is the shoulder redirect. For this redirect, start out by holding your nunchuck in a front grip like this, where if you stick out your thumb you're pointing to the chain part of the nunchuck, and then letting it hang down to your side like this. Then simply swing it up and bring the top part of the nunchuck to your shoulder, like that. So what you're doing is you're bringing the top end of the nunchuck, so this part to the front right here, you're bringing that up to your shoulder so that the chain wraps around your shoulder like this. Then once your nunchuck is up here at your shoulder, simply swing it back down again and you have completed the redirect. So once again, allow the nunchuck to swing up, let it reflect off of your shoulder, and then bring it back down again. Allow the chain part of the nunchuck to wrap around your shoulder like this so that the end of the nunchuck doesn't hit you in the arm. I suggest that when you do this shoulder redirect, that you also bring your other hand across your body like this to allow the other end of the nunchuck to reflect off of in order to bring it back downwards. Because if you do not put your other hand there, the other end of the nunchuck can swing upwards and hit you in the face. So in order to prevent that from happening, simply bring the nunchuck up to your shoulder, allow the chain to revolve around your shoulder, and then bring the nunchuck back down again. But while you're doing this, give a little tap to the other end of the nunchuck so that it follows in the same direction and does not come swinging upwards. The shoulder redirect is so important to nunchucks because it will allow you to later transfer into the tuck position very easily from whatever you're doing in your spinning routine. And this will also serve as a very important starting point to many of your routine. The next basic redirect that I'll be showing you today is the hip redirect. These redirects will allow you to position your nunchuck however you wish around the space that you're currently spinning in. So start out in the shoulder redirect position, again in the front grip like this, and from here simply swing the nunchuck downwards and across your body down to the opposite waist like this. Once you get to that waist, touch the front part of the nunchuck that you're currently holding onto to your waist and allow the chain part and the other nunchuck to rotate around your waist like that. So once you've brought the front part of the nunchuck to the opposite waist, allow the other end to swing around, reflect off, and then spin outwards like this. From here, swing the nunchuck around and bring the front part of the nunchuck again to the same waist in which you were holding the nunchuck. Then allow the nunchuck to revolve around and reflect off of that side. So once again, from the starting position that is at your shoulder, swing the nunchuck downwards and across your body to the opposite waist. Allow the nunchuck to wrap around and reflect off of that point by bringing the front part of the nunchuck to your waist and allowing it to reflect that way. Then swing the nunchuck across your body and to the opposite waist, which is on the same side in which you started, and allow the chain to wrap around that waist and reflect off that way. This redirect sequence can be continued like this in order to allow the nunchucks to continue spinning in such a pattern and allow you to position the nunchuck however you wish. With some slight modifications, both of the waist redirects can be reflected in a way so that they return to the shoulder redirect. For instance, if you go across your body down to the opposite waist, you can reflect the nunchuck slightly at an angle so it reflects back off and goes to your shoulder. So you can continue reflecting the nunchuck this way at a slight angle so that it continues to return to your shoulder. In order to reflect the nunchuck back onto your shoulder from the same side in which you're starting, simply bring the nunchuck downwards but at a slight curve. So what you're doing is you're bringing the nunchuck straight down and then adding a slight bend to it in order to allow the nunchuck to turn a little more sideways and then being able to bring it to your waist and then reflect it off again. If you intend to bring your nunchuck upwards after bringing your nunchuck to the opposite side, bring the nunchuck across again, but this time slow down the nunchuck slightly earlier so that the nunchuck spins at a slight downward angle like this. Then when you touch the front part of the nunchuck to your waist on this side, allow the nunchuck to revolve slightly downwards so that it is at a downward angle like this, and then bring the nunchuck upwards after it has reflected off of that waist. It is very important to practice these moves in sequence because it will allow you to adjust how you spin your nunchucks and where they are currently located in order to transition between moves or in order to set up new moves that you might be doing later. In order to make these very basic redirects slightly more interesting, try by adding spins between your redirects. So when you bring it down to this side, try adding a spin in order to bring it back up instead of simply bringing it up the normal way as you would. Another great addition that you can make to these very simple redirects is wrist rolls. Wrist rolls can work in combination with these redirects in order to create more interesting spinning routines. For instance, the waist-to-waist redirect is very simple, but when you combine it with the horizontal wrist rolls, you can create a very interesting spinning routine that will allow you to engage your audience a lot more. So if you'd like to see my tutorial on this, click up here or check for the link in the description below. So I hope that you learned something today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials coming in the future, and go check out some of the other many nunchuck related tutorials that I have on my channel.